then when I was a little kid, we didn't live far from the railroad. And when the tramps dropped the freights going either up to Duluth or to the cities, they would stop and beg for food. My mother always had food for them. You know, she always fed them.
Looking through Grandma's yearbook is a bright window to simpler times.
I loved Fredrich. I guess just the freedom of living in a small town, and you were never afraid of anything. I worked at the pea factory, everybody did. We packed the cans of beans in the boxes. We'd have contests how many cans we could pick up with one hand. Turn that magic age where we would get a paycheck.
Grandma's high school years were full of music, dance, choir, cheerleading, and more music.
Well, musically, I was lucky. Yeah, because it was my whole life in dancing. Choir tours, biggest thrill of my life, which I thought, oh my God, I died and gone to heaven. Alice, Sieber, and Franny Watucky, and Donna. And we traveled to the cities and sang at the USO centers during the war. Choir was my favorite. And cheerleading, and we were just always very active.
Grandma was very popular and even dated the homecoming king here.
Joe, he was a really super guy, really smart, you know, an athlete and everything.
Grandma was always a strong Packer fan, even though her high school football team were the Vikings.
Grandma was a middle child. Older brother Dwayne was born on St. Patrick's Day. Uncle Pat, as we called him, was one of so many who left Fredrich to serve in World War II. Brother Don served in Korea.
Grandma's love of animals seemed to have come from her mother. Taking in strays and feeding the neighborhood cats and dogs seemed like the right thing to do.
The train was 2 blocks from our house. The Sioux line went through, and a lot of people dropped their pets off. So I would just go down to the depot and pick them up and bring them home. And any stray in town, I found downtown, I'd bring home.
Her love of animals had certainly passed down to my mom and my aunts.
How could you help but not, huh?
You want to sit down and cool it?
Grandpa and Grandma loved to travel in the RV. Those were some of her best memories traveling with friends.
We'd all meet our friends at the games when we'd travel out of town, and he just loved the idea of going into the camper at night instead of into a motel or something. He never did care that much for the motel. Boy, did I miss that. After Dave died, I can remember going out and sitting in it, pretending I was going to pack and go someplace with neighbors. And you meet so many different people.
Our family put lots of miles on those RVs, and Grandpa was always happy when family enjoyed life on the road.
Let's poop on the camera. And this is Potty Pumper.
I have some friends that still laugh very hard about this to this day, that he'd come and pick me up in the camper just to make it home for dinner, and then he'd have to back out of their driveway and then make a big scene, and I had to ride in the camper, and then he'd of course make a little trip down through Main Street and do the loop in River Falls if the camper could make the loop.
Goodbye.
Grandma always shared memories of her childhood, the Great Depression, high school friends, World War II, and Grandpa.
He was a big teaser. He never lost his temper with me in that. He should have, because I was good at being a stinker. He was just very good to me, very generous.
All right.
After Paris, Margaret made it.
Oh, that is really neat.
Grass last night.
Wow.
A thing.
And
He loved his kids.
People were here in crutches and canes.
Now they have to blow out the candles first now because everyone paid all attention to our grandbabies.
All right, Christian, we'll see if we can blow them up.
Not quite a tablespoon, but close.
Okay.
Want to do it too much either, but yeah, so that it gets mixed all together. Joe Page always remembers my pies because they were so high. Then you just go like this, Mike. You can experiment. That's what cooks, chefs do.
Uncle Mike never did learn to make an apple pie like Grandma. Grandma taught all of us life lessons about kindness, forgiveness, and giving.
When Grandpa passed in 1994, I think a part of Grandma went with him.
Grandma loved this church.
We've always had war, killing the young men and theirs. It really always bothered me.
Very good.
Badly. If people were just more kind to each other. And
I think if Grandma were here, she would say, live healthy and wise and cherish every moment with family and friends. I will never understand cancer.
Every day, Grandma made lunch for Grandpa, and he shared his visions of the bank, the community of River Falls that they both so loved.
be good, be happy.